Hello. This is Wednesday, July the 13th, 2022. I'm Theodore Parker, and this is the Science Show. In this part of Kentucky, the temperature is about 73, going up to about 86. Probably a pleasant day, a little bit on the warm side. Still have the mask. And latest update on monkeypox. Should I say it has arrived in Jeffersonville, which for you non-Kentucky residents means it's in the city of Louisville. So continue to be cautious and keep up to date on what's going on health-wise in your area. News items for today. Well, I'm quite sure across the country, people are aware of the January 6th committee hearings that aired yesterday. Comments from various witnesses that were giving answers to questions from the committee, including at least two people that have participated in the assault on Capitol Hill. One member of Proud Boys, another member of another organization. And both of them expressed regrets as to their taking the position that they took. One man kind of detailed what had been happening to him since he participated in that. Lost his job. He was a married man, I think, with children, and lost his home. Was not able to really get employment. His wife was present. The vice chairman acknowledged her being there and acknowledging what had happened for the actions that he participated in on January 6th. He also said he probably had blinders on, whereas he should have just taken a step back and looked at the whole situation from a different perspective. And other comments were made about meetings that went on for hours in what is referred to as the Yellow Room, the upper floors of the White House, with former President Trump, in trying to secure positions, at least for one woman, and security clearance as well, which some of the staff said they could arrange, but Pat Cipollone, I think, said that he did not know of any position that she was really assigned to or what duties that she was designated to be responsible for. So as far as he was concerned, she never did get appointed to anything. And so it went. I spent some of the afternoon watching that since it had a pre-programmed for an hour, and then that went on from about 1 until about 4 in the afternoon. And for you working people, probably caught the updates in the evening. Scheduled for another broadcast next week. Back to the ongoing war in Russia. Missiles destroyed an ammunition depot in an occupied town. Officials to seek grain export deal. And Ukraine rules out any ceasefire deal that involves ceding territory to Russia. For you coffee lovers, Starbucks to close 16 stores, citing personal safety concerns. Amongst those cities mentioned, Seattle, Washington, D.C., and Portland, Oregon. Did you miss it? Did you miss it? Yesterday, Subway gave away millions of sandwiches between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Yes, I did. When I realized it was going on, it was in the evening. I could have called somebody and said, bring me a sandwich. Especially with the 12 brand new additions to their menu. I could have used me some kind of steak sandwich or something. I like that from Subway. I think they had the Philly steak and another one called the Monster. Like to see what that was about. All of them 6 inches, so you don't have to worry about whether or not, you were going to overindulge. But that opportunity has come and gone. So if you missed it, there you are. Russia's war against Ukraine, another comment. Number 4 on the list, has turned into terrorism. 3 huge bombs hit a 9-story apartment building, a recreational center, and a boarding house, plus a very modest vacation community along a lagoon that opens up into the Black Sea. A group of international war crime experts traveled immediately to Serhivanka, gathering evidence. Leaked audio. Before Election Day, Bannon said Trump planned to falsely claim victory. Again, this is related to the investigation by the 1-6 committee. So the plan was, according to Steve Bannon, was that as the votes were being tallied, that Trump knew that in some states he would be ahead, and that's when he would declare victory prior to final count, prior to the final count being tallied. So again, the chairman, both vice chairmans of the 1-6 committee have commented on Trump's continued pursuit of things that were not constitutional in regards to the Democratic election, and his attitude and willingness to involve other people in falsifying the outcome of the election. Now, this is one, number 6, that kind of got me because of the way that it was presented in the headline. Excuse me. China was freaked. The U.S. Navy surfaced 3 missile submarines simultaneously as a warning. So right away I said, oh, what's going on? But this is dated from when President Obama was serving in the White House. And based on several countries' GNP, gross national product, especially Japan, which has greatly increased their gross national product, up a couple of trillion. I think they're around maybe 7. No, we're at 7. The United States is 7. So Japan is at 4. China would have been probably at 10 at that time. So China was feeling itself because it is the most populous country. So President Obama at the time had submarines go to the Indo-Pacific area and surface. So here's the information. The Ohio is a nuclear-powered submarine capable of firing ballistic missiles. The 3rd largest submarine class in the world, the Ohio can carry 24 Trident II missiles. So when 3 Ohio submarines surfaced in the Indo-Pacific carrying a combined 72 ballistic missiles, the message to China was clear, if not explicit. Sometime between 2015 and 2020, China's Navy crossed a critical threshold. It fields more battle force ships than the U.S. Navy, making it the world's largest Navy numerically. Today, at around 360 hulls, it exceeds its American rival by more than 60 warships. So hopefully the Biden administration can maintain focus on China and the Pacific without getting too preoccupied with Russian related concerns because Russia lacks hegemonic potential. Just so you know, he's free to leave. LeBron James slammed by saying he rethinks U.S. return. He'd rethink U.S. return if he were Brittany Griner. And this is like from an upcoming a trailer. Let me be more specific. A trailer from an upcoming episode of HBO show The Shop Uninterrupted. I've seen it a couple of times. Men are sitting around having a discussion about topics of interest to them. So this trailer was released yesterday, and in the trailer, LeBron mentions that if he had been captive for 110 days, he would rethink what was going on in regards to how the U.S. was treating Brittany Griner. Right on top of that, the person who presented the article, Nick Adams, a political commentator who is endorsed by former President Trump, which in and of itself is a whole category. LeBron should join Brittany Griner in her Russian jail cell. So I guess that's a little tit for tat. And if the show did not air last night and it's upcoming, then you have an opportunity to catch it in its entirety. Couple who quit their jobs to live their dreams sailing around the world die in freak accident. From Germany, sailing for 3 years, this couple left Bermuda in early June and headed for Nova Scotia, and had picked up 2 American passengers somewhere in the Caribbean. Volker and Anne-Marie Frank, 57 and 54 years old respectively, had covered 24 nautical miles in 3 years. And on their way to Nova Scotia, the boom sails got loose and struck Anne-Marie, injuring her. And Volker, in responding to his wife's situation, got struck by the boom himself. So the 2 American passengers pressed the panic button, summoning, I guess, the Coast Guard to the rescue. And they transported the couple to the shoreline of Massachusetts. But they subsequently succumbed to their injuries. And then they returned to pick up the American passengers, who remained unnamed. So, kind of a sad ending to something that they decided to do as an adventure, and still comparatively coming out of having had regular jobs. Volkner and Anne-Marie Frank, 57 and 54, freak accident on their yacht. But I probably wouldn't have been one of those persons to be that adventurous, because I always imagine, the sea getting unruly and high waves and stuff like that. But I'm not really up to speed on boats. I know a yacht can be expensive and entertaining. People in China shocked by man accused of barging into ex-wife and daughter's home before raping former partner. Surveillance footage was circulated online of the attack. So it seems this man had just been divorced from his wife a month earlier and just came up on the home and forced his way in, and while the daughter was sleeping, raped the wife, which, he has been picked up for. And it brought up several other video footages of some incidents that have been going on in China of women being attacked. One particular one that was caught on video was of 4 women sitting in a restaurant eating, and a man just walked up and started pushing on a lady while she was in her seat and then smacked her. And then she stood up and offered resistance, started swinging at his face, and somebody else came in, and another woman started beating the man on his back, and a couple of people, men in the restaurant, kind of stepped away from the scene. So that was one thing, and then there was another incident. I'm not sure if it's the same or in the street. A man just smacked a woman, knocked her to the ground, and men in the area started interfering. But then there was another woman, and she got hit and knocked down, and the men started interfering. But all in all, 4 women were attacked in this instance, and 9 men were arrested. So they're not getting away from it, but it's just China is trying to give attention to the safety of women in public due to these attacks having occurred. Back to the war. Iran to send hundreds of drones to Putin. U.S. security advisors issue huge warning. Russia turned to Tehran, which is equally sanctioned by the Western sanctions of the U.S., for drones because Ukraine has been knocking them down out of the air to the point where they are losing them in large numbers. So Tehran has offered to send them, but Tehran has been under sanctions since their dealings with Iraq a few years ago. Here in Kentucky, woman almost dies after picking up $1 bill from the ground. Renee Parson from Kentucky revealed that she went numb and was hospitalized after picking up the single note of cash. Her husband and her were at the McDonald's with their daughter. He had went to the bathroom. She saw the dollar bill on the floor, on the ground, picked it up, and she was about to give it to a little girl that was passing by, but her husband came out of the bathroom, so she pushed it in her pocket, went in the bathroom, washed her hands, came back, and they did whatever they're going to do. And in the meantime, she also used some alcohol wipes on her hands. And he cautioned her about picking up things because he had heard rumors that money had been, laced with fentanyl, which is an ongoing drug problem with so many overdoses and deaths affiliated with that. And about that time, she started feeling numb and having some kind of reaction. So he rushed her to the hospital. She said 98 in a 35-mile zone. But anyway, once he had gotten to the hospital and received medical attention, and the police were called, and they found out that there was drugs on the dollar bill. And they weren't sure if it had been used in consuming the drug or it had been applied there intentionally. But whatever the case may be, she's lucky to be alive. And also here in Kentucky, hundreds of millions of dollars are being under review as to how to be applied in drug treatment programs and things of that nature. So the story kind of went hand in hand with what's a priority right now with the governor of Kentucky. And to round out the dozen, Kim Kardashian reacts to Khloe asking if she and boyfriend Pete Davidson have a foot fetish. Now, I think Khloe had just got finished commenting on Kourtney and Travis about feet. And here she is back at Kim again. And this is based on Monday, there was a picture released by them of Kim sitting down and having her bare feet on Pete's shirtless chest. So Kim answers, no, we don't have anything going on like that. And when Courtney was approached about it, she said, what we do in the bedroom is kind of like our business. So there you have that one. No foot fetish going on with Kim and Pete. Speaking of couples, I mentioned something yesterday when I talked about Michael B. Jordan and Lori Harvey, and I mentioned her having dated Future. It wasn't a throwback, as a little bit of clarification, to anybody's former relationships. But most of the information we get about celebrities or about anybody is through the media, per se, internet, and social media in particular when it comes to celebrities. So Lori and people are aware that they have been removing each other from their platforms. And she had been using the company that Future had been using to promote himself on social media. So that's what made me mention about her and Future. So she is using the same company that Future was using or had been using to promote herself on social media. So that was the reason for me referencing Future, not whatever their relationship is, has been, or could have been, dealing with Michael B. Jordan. Wednesday, July 13th, 2022. Still summer months. Still got those long daylight hours you might want to take advantage of. Drink your water. Watch your diet. Hope you enjoy some of those food suggestions I gave you earlier. And I should do this in the front, but I'm going to do it now. Like, comment if you are thinking of good things, and subscribe. That's it. Hashtag